Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on today's ESA webinar, Smart Security Made Easy. Deploying smart security solutions can be daunting. Integrators looking to enter the smart home or commercial security spaces need to consider numerous variables, including device security, data encryption, factory sourcing, professional monitoring, and emergency response to ensure the safety and peace of mind of their end users. Tuya and Noonlight have brought their solutions together to make smart security easy for integrators looking to deploy modern connected security solutions with 24/7 professional monitoring. In today's webinar, we'll cover Tuya's purpose-built IoT platform and its capabilities, along with their security device offerings, including IP cameras, door locks, sensors, smoke detectors, and their security SaaS platform. Noonlight's technology, built to protect and comfort users with fast, data-rich emergency response and professional monitoring, along with their service options and attractive pricing to help you increase your subscription-based features and recurring revenue. And we'll also touch on the new integration between Tuya's platform and Noonlight's API, enabling some new value-added services. I'm Jillian Bateman, ESA's Chief Development Officer, and I'll be facilitating our discussion today. Before we dive in with experts from Tuya and Noonlight, I'd like to provide some tips for those of you joining us on your first ESA webinar. Welcome. ESA, or the Electronic Security Association, is the largest and longest standing association serving the pro-installed electronic security and life safety industry. Our members are integrators, dealers, monitoring centers, and even manufacturers and service providers in the space. We are the voice of electronic security and life safety. If your company is a member of the association, thank you. We hope you're taking advantage of your ESA benefits to leverage growth and connections for your team. If your company is not yet an ESA member, check us out. You'd be surprised at the power of membership. You can get a feel for all the ESA benefits, including savings on business insurance, training, sales team coaching, certifications that satisfy state licensing, and more at esaweb.org. All callers, you'll be muted for the duration of this session, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. If a question or comment comes to mind at any point during today's session, click the Q&A icon at the bottom of your control screen, and we'll pose those questions to our experts today. There's no need to save the questions until the end of today's session. If something pops up, go ahead and ask, and we'll ensure we save enough time with our speakers. We'll also be recording today's webinar, so you can rewatch the on-demand session at your leisure and share it with your colleagues. Just give us until tomorrow, and we'll send you an email with a link to the recording on the ESA website. We at ESA realize your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our three speakers. Nikita Chen. She is responsible for Tuya Security SaaS and IoT OS. She is passionate about working with partners to design custom IoT solutions that meet business goals. John Grispin, he is head of partnerships at Noonlight and has over 20 plus years in software, where he's sold, coached, and led teams to rapid growth in B2B tech startups. And Brooks Lecomte, he has 10 plus years experience in behavioral economics, user experience, and product management, propelling Noonlight's growth from a market-leading B2C safety app to a connected safety platform. Nikita, let's dive in.
Thanks, Jillian. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Smart Security Made Easy webinar. This webinar is co-hosted by Tuya, an IoT platform, and Noonlight, Tuya's partner for emergency response. So in this webinar, we will introduce you to Tuya, a global IoT platform provider. We will discuss our IoT cloud platform and the capabilities, security SaaS solution, and powered by Tuya, smart security devices. You will also learn about Noonlight, a connected safety platform with sensor monitoring, video monitoring, and emergency response. and how we work together to bring peace of mind to your end customers while providing a new and a recurring revenue stream for your business. I'm Nikita Chen, responsible for business and partnership development at Tuya Smart. I've led business and partnership development for various security brands and ODMs for more than 10 years. I helped brands to build their hardware portfolio with my company's engineering capabilities. Prior to joining Tuya, I was with the Hike Vision, a leading enterprise security company for 5.5 years. I'm based in Southern California, and if you are interested in reaching out to me, I can be found on LinkedIn. So feel free to send me a message over there and how I can help you find success. Thanks for joining us today to learn more about Tuya's security SaaS solutions with emergency platform integration. So let's begin with a brief Tuya introduction. Tuya has pioneered an Internet of Things cloud platform that delivers a full suite of offerings to businesses and developers, including platform as a service, we call it PaaS, and the software as a service, SaaS, and other cloud-based value-added services. Tuya's neutral IoT cloud platform enables developers to activate a vibrant IoT ecosystem of brands, OEMs, partners, and end users to engage and communicate through a broad range of smart devices. Our IoT cloud platform empowers end users to interact with multiple products from multiple brands on one simple, easy to use interface. This app experience allows users to control products not only for security, but also for home automation, energy tracking, health, or entertainment. Our Powered by Tuya PBT products ecosystem brings the interconnection between different devices, categories, and brands into reality, allowing them to all be easily controlled within the same interface. Before we dive into the solution itself, let's know a little bit more about the security systems you are installing today. So we have the poll questions for everyone. What protocols do you use in your security system? We have a couple options here: Zigbee, Z-Wave, Bluetooth, cellular, or Wi-Fi, or other protocol. Please feel free to share. So let's just give it a couple more seconds for all the votes to come in. Wow. Okay. So looks like a Wi-Fi is the dominating protocol out there. We have about 36% who are using Wi-Fi. And surprisingly, because I was thinking Zigbee or Z-Wave will be the second place, but the second place is actually cellular. But I'm thinking the cellular is probably just used for backup for your Zigbee or Z-Wave alarm panel and the devices. Okay. So let's begin. Tuya Security is a SaaS solution, covers various applications: home security, alarm monitoring, smart medical alert, fire and flood alert, building automation and access control. The target markets covers not only residential security, but also PERS, small and medium-sized businesses, commercial, and the multifamily buildings. The solution suite includes one web portal and 2 apps. The web portal serves as entry for different vertical applications. For example, smart lock and access control management, alarm monitoring stations, medical alert. The 2 apps are for end users for control devices, and one is called Security Station. It's for service providers and installers to commission, maintain devices, and to handle alarm and video events. Since Tuya Security Solution is based on cloud architecture, it is scalable, open, and it can be customized. We provide SDK and cloud APIs so that developer partners can integrate our software capabilities into their system, All the Powered by Tuya devices can work together, and our ecosystem is also open for integration. Developers and brands can use Tuya SDK to develop their own end-user app and a service provider app, and use the API to develop dealer, customer service portal, and a dashboard. All the data points of a hardware is available to capture and analyze according to your business needs. So let's talk about the Tuya mobile app. The end user app is for the end user to view and control the security system remotely. For example, customer can set automatic schedule in the room scenes with the home automation devices. They can receive texts, calls, push notification for self-monitoring. They can link the app with their own third-party voice assistant accounts, such as Google Assistant and Alexa. If they want to activate the professional monitoring, they can choose from multiple plans, such as cloud storage, third-party monitoring services, like Noonlight, our partner, is offering. The service provider app is for the service provider or monitoring center to monitor, manage devices, and handle events. Agents can receive alarm and video verification, and they can see end users' locations, alarm details, and handle the alarm and verifying the result. If you are a service provider or installers, this is also a great tool to use to track maintenance work orders and commission the devices on the installation site. Let's talk a little bit about the web portal. At the monitoring center or control room, the web portal serves as an entry for different applications. As you can see here, the large screen, we have Alarm Monitoring Center, Business Security Center, Healthcare, and Access Control. There's a dashboard for easy access to all the top level information if you are a manager. The main functions are on the business side, it helps manage dealers, billings, and recurring monthly revenue. On the application side, it handles the alarms, events, and verifications. On the business analytics side, it captures all the data points from devices and the app for your business analysis. Also, on the marketing and the operation side, customer service and the marketing team can use the portal to respond to customer feedback and the design promotions through direct app push notifications. Then in the next few slides, we'll cover 4 major application scenarios that you can utilize using this Tuya Security SaaS app. The first one is a home security scenario. Tuya Security app works with the home security devices, such as door and window sensors, smoke sensor, SOS buttons, cameras. Users can self-monitor by acting upon the alerts notification sent by the device or sign up the cloud storage services and other service plan in the app. As a service providers or monitoring centers, you could promote your own branded app and use the web portal to manage those subscriptions. Under the home security scenario, it is very important to monitor fire, flood events using sensors, video verifications. Again, our platform offers self-monitoring options by receiving either texts or phone calls. Noonlight is an excellent choice for professional monitoring and can be subscribed from the app. Next, I will talk about alarm monitoring scenario for residential and commercial properties. Tuya offers a complete cloud-based software package for alarm monitoring centers who can resell to dealers and then end users. We offer complete OEM packages or platform as a service for the web portal and the apps for end users and the monitoring center staff. The unique app for monitoring center staff helps reduce handling costs and provide an intuitive interface for the agents to handle, verify events, and do the dispatch. Our cloud-based API allows integration with your existing business systems, such as CRM and other third-party software, and provide a unified entry point for your staff. With the complete cloud-based infrastructure, all the events and the verifications can be handled, verified, canceled in a matter of seconds on your fingertips using Tuya apps and web applications. These offer property owners more options for self-monitoring, but also help dealers and monitoring centers to reduce operational costs, false alarms, and the cost for truck rolls. The third application scenario I want to talk about is access control. Tuya ecosystem supports a wide range of residential and commercial locks, intercom, and access control products. Connected and controlled by the access control center, building managers can assign access levels to different roles, set scheduled for time entry, issue temporary visitor codes to visitors, maintenance workers, contractors, and enable multi-factor authentication. Property owners and the managers can now use the mobile apps to remote control the entry points, even when they are not on premises. The Access Control Center keeps expanding the functionality, and the latest update includes room occupancy management to automate tenants move in and out, and self-guided tours. Whether you're a building manager, business owner, property manager, or homeowner, the Tuya Access Control Center is scalable from a single Airbnb to multifamily dwelling units, even for multiple locations. The last scenario I want to cover is a healthcare center. Tuya's Healthcare Center offers excellent software tools for long-term care facilities, nursing homes, and aging place facilities. It is important for the caregivers and the emergency dispatchers to get automated alerts from connected devices carried by the residents or installed on premises. Tuya's ecosystem offers connected devices with trackers, sensors, fall detection that can send out alerts when detecting incidents. Vital and health data can also be tracked and digitally shared to medical staff, such as glucose levels, blood pressure, sleep tracking, exercise, and diet. The software suite include the Health Center web application, the app for caregivers, and the app for residents or family members. Health monitoring data can be sent directly to the nursing staff or a family member, and emergency or scheduled care can be called if necessary. So next, you may start wondering right now what type of security devices are available or compatible with Tuya Security SaaS. The good news is that Tuya has an extensive ecosystem, and the security solution offers alarm panels, various types of sensors, including fire, smoke, humiditor, IP cameras, smart locks, and access control devices. So besides what you're seeing on this screen, we're continuously adding more products to enrich the ecosystem. If you don't already know, Tuya has cooperated and partnered with over 90,000 factories. If you remember the poll question in the beginning of the webinar, Tuya's solution is protocol agnostic. We are confident that you can find a hardware portfolio that works for your business, be it dual protocol for easy pairing or RF for a strong signal showing in the next page. So I think our poll question concludes that there's although Wi-Fi is the dominant protocol, Zigbee and the Z-Wave and the cellular are also pretty dominant in the space. But I think that biggest advantage that I want you guys to take away is that Tuya's system is protocol agnostic. Since Tuya is an IoT platform and we already powered over 250,000 SKUs, you may think this is too good to be true. But does the security app control all of the Powered by Tuya devices in addition to security devices? And the answer is yes. All the products are also supported on the security SaaS. So you can control and manage all the products on the web portal and at the same time, the two apps that we offer. The biggest advantage of working with Tuya is that our cloud is protocol and ecosystem agnostic. The good news for you, the dealers and the end users, that you only need one app. This app controls all of your IoT devices, including smart lighting, power, IP cameras, sensors, health and fitness devices, even your kitchen and home appliances. Our app also gives you the ability to link third-party ecosystem accounts such as Alexa and Google Home. All right, with all the good stuff I mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about pricing. Tuya's monthly fee, or I should say the self-monitoring fee, starts at a very low price at just $1 per month per user. This is the cost to dealers and brands. Our hardware starter kit is around $35, and I'm talking about FOB price. So the price is very attractive, and it's about 5 times lower than the competition. We provide both self-monitoring. Like I said, it starts at $1 per month, and the professional monitoring. And we recommend you look at the Noonlight's offering, our emergency response partner. There's no contract needed. The user can cancel anytime on their mobile app. No phone call required. Tuya is the only company with the development tools to help you build your own branded app and a web portal. So I want to announce a good news for you, for the audience for this webinar. If you're interested, please reach out. We have a limited time promotion for our OEM app and the web portal package. It will be up to 20% off. So if you're interested, please mention the promo code ESA2YA20 in your inquiries. The promo will end of June. So to summarize, to work with Tuya, I want you guys to understand that Tuya is a robust platform, and it is a proven cloud platform by global deployment of 250 devices and 262,000 developers. And we're driving standardization of protocols, and we're making breakthroughs in AI. And the second point is that we value end user experience. We have couple unified app to control all the devices and test it in various markets with good user feedback. And we're continuously upgrade and enhance the features and the user experience. As far as data security, we take a very comprehensive and a structured approach, including device level security and the data privacy. We work with third-party labs to do regular penetration tests, and then we also comply with the international regulations with regards to data privacy, including GDPR and the CCPA. So for example, for the businesses in the North America, we have local data centers in the US, Europe, and Asia. So whenever the devices are commissioned, that's where the data remains. So at Tuya, we've done the hard work, and then now you can just plug in. Tuya makes IoT easy for you. So that concludes my presentation today on the Tuya part. And if you're interested, please remember to reach out to us at marketing@tuya.com. And also remember the promo code for up to 20% off is ESA Tuya 20. Now I will hand the presentation to our partner Noonlight, John and Brooks.
Okay. Thank you, Nikita.
Great. So I can start by introducing myself. I'm Brooks. I'm a product manager here at Noonlight, specifically focused on helping our API customers integrate Noonlight's professional monitoring and emergency response capabilities into their products to deliver the desired experience to their users.
And my name is John Grispin. I lead our efforts to work with partners to help them increase value for their service offerings and to help them drive subscription revenue. So this is our mission statement. We combine advanced technology with real humans to protect and comfort people so they can live their lives more freely. Before we go further, 2 poll questions. First one's kind of fun. How do you protect your home? There'll be a poll question that pops up. You don't have home security. You have traditional home security. You have DIY home security, or you have both DIY and traditional home security, a combination. Give you a second to fill that out. And we'll have one follow-on question after this. It looks like it's spread over a combination, but it looks like the leading is having traditional home security. Something like Brinks or ADT, perhaps, where you have an annual contract, where you have hardwired devices installed. Now the last question, last poll question, what do you make? Are you a dealer? Do you have home security hardware? Are you a home security software or application? Or do you provide security hardware and software for businesses? Give you a chance to click. Let's see the results. So 50%, I'm a dealer, 38% of business, and then spread out among the others. Okay. Great. So just very quickly, at Noonlight, we help you take your hardware device or your software, anything really that can detect a potential emergency, and we enable 24/7 professional sensor monitoring, video monitoring, and data-rich emergency response. We do this through our API software that partners integrate into a system with just a few lines of code. So your hardware or software can create an indication of an emergency. And so on the left, these are some of the challenges that you might face in your current business. Notification fatigue, which leads to ignoring your product, ignoring your brand. Oftentimes, too many false alarms leads to concern, and sometimes product gets turned off. Well, Noonlight provides a capability, the ability to have video verification, text, and phone calls can stop these unnecessary notifications and costly false alarms. The second common problem that you might face is a lack of data for emergency responders during an active alarm. With Noonlight, we address this with our capability by getting the right data into the hands of first responders. And it's important to get the right data, all of that data, while communicating alarm status back to you. We do that through a technology called webhooks. Brooks will go through this detail and how we do that in a couple of follow-on slides. And lastly, your revenue might begin and end with the sale of your hardware. And what Noonlight enables you to provide is a set of professional monitoring subscriptions to enable that recurring revenue. So let's explain to you our three different products. This is a video, it's about 30 seconds long, and it's going to describe our do-it-yourself home monitoring solution. And after this, Brooks is going to take you through some of the details.
John is at work when he receives a notification. A window in his home was just opened. That's odd. He opens his home security app and discovers a stranger in his living room. John taps a button and within seconds receives reassurance from a friendly Noonlight dispatcher while local police are on their way.
Great. Yeah, so just to dive a bit more into the details of this offering than what you just saw in that video. So you think about some of the challenges that come with a DIY monitored system where the burden's on the user to essentially be aware and be able to take action. A couple of challenges specifically that Noonlight's able to help solve for these users. One is users aren't always at home or near their home when a potential emergency situation occurs. And so in those situations, if the user is attempting to dial 911, that call is going to get routed based on their location at the time and not necessarily routed to who it needs to get routed to in order for the emergency service to actually be dispatched to the location of the property where the actual emergency is occurring. Not helpful to get routed to send help to you if the emergency is actually occurring at your home because your house is on fire or somebody's breaking in. And then the second problem that Noonlight helps us solve, and I'll talk through kind of exactly how we do that in a second, is users aren't always in a situation where they can effectively communicate what's going on during an emergency in order to get the sort of response that they need. That might be because they are focused on getting their family or possessions out of the home safely during a fire, or they are focused on staying as quiet as possible during a potential home invasion where they're at their house. And so Noonlight, using that combination of real caring people and our trained agents at our monitoring centers, are able to communicate on behalf of the user to the local law enforcement to dispatch that help, in addition to being able to take the rich data that's shared via our API, anything from live video of what's happening at that user's home in that moment as there's a potential intruder, to sensor events as a new door is opened or a window is open. We're able to share that all real time with both the local law enforcement and first responders that are actually arriving on scene to help kind of deliver that response to the user. And so you can see there's some great examples of this that we've built out with our partner Tuya, as well as some other examples that are in the market with some of the other brands that you can see there on the screen. And then just a quick kind of, you saw some of this in the video, but just to simplify or show how simple this experience is from the end user's perspective, user receives a notification from their product or app or service that they're using, indicating a potential emergency event has been detected. The user can simply tap a button, some sort of send help button. No further action is needed from the user at that point in time. We're able to leverage some different technology, whether it's reviewing the video or texting and calling the different members of that household to help prevent false alarms if it's a situation that ends up seeming like it might escalate but does not actually, or the user inadvertently pressed that button. We can filter those out. But if the user is not in a position to respond, no further action needs to be taken on their side. All they have to do is tap that send help button and Noonlight takes care of the rest.
Okay, so that was DIY home monitoring. We'll now move to professional sensor monitoring. Sensors on your doors, windows, motion detectors, even water and gas. Let's have a look in the next 30 seconds, then we'll come back to Brooks.
Rose and her family are fast asleep when their smoke detector is triggered in the garage. Rose misses the notification from her smart home app, so a Noonlight dispatcher calls her husband, while local emergency services are alerted with Rose's address, household profile, and smoke sensor data. The Noonlight team stays on the line until help arrives, ensuring everyone's safety.
Yep. So thinking about some of the challenges that come with the DIY self-monitoring, although we can simplify that experience from the user's perspective in the event that there is a potential emergency, all they have to do is tap a button. The burden is still on them in those moments to be in a position to be aware of a potential event, to not be asleep when it happens, and to be able to take that action. And so with professional sensor monitoring, we essentially can take that burden off of the user of having to be on call and available 24/7. If an event is detected, even if the user is not able to respond, Noonlight's able to take action on the user's behalf. And so we've seen this be a tremendous value add, definitely an opportunity for our partners and customers to add recurring revenue by taking that burden off of the user and delivering that value.
Sorry, I was on mute. So that was sensor monitoring. And now our most advanced and probably most unique service offering in the market, you'll see a combination of camera, your software, and our verification can help eliminate false alarms and the associated fees with professional video monitoring. It'll be 30 seconds and back to Brooks.
Blake is on vacation when Noonlight receives a video alert from his backyard camera. Upon immediate inspection, a Noonlight agent confirms suspicious activity and notifies local law enforcement, providing Blake's address, household profile, and live video updates. With Noonlight taking care of everything, Blake's vacation can be, well, vacation. Noonlight.
So again, as we think about some of the challenges that even the professional sensor monitoring creates, if you talk to users and their biggest concern about having a service like that is the fear and anxiety caused by potential false alarms. They're worried that having this sort of automatic service is going to mean now I am no longer responsible for being aware and available to take action to get help in an emergency, but I now have to have my phone on me at all times in order to ensure that I don't have a false alarm, which can in some ways be as fear and create a lot of uncertainty and doubt in the services we talked about before. And so what this does is leverage the ability to capture events via camera, send those to Noonlight and have a real person verify those in real time to quickly make a determination. Taking that verification process and that burden of the user of having to review that video, determine whether or not this requires additional action, no longer is on the user, it's now on Noonlight. Helps to filter out false alarms, whether it's a dog that's been captured on camera that's not actually a person or intruder, whether it's shadows or someone that simply clearly lives in the home and does not pose a potential threat. So again, you can look at some of the examples that are out there in the market. We've seen this be a great opportunity to deliver a ton of value as you're taking as much of the burden off the users as possible in those moments to feel that 100% coverage that they're going to be protected in the event of emergency, while taking the burden off of them to be responsible for having to take that action. And so the next slide will show a bit more on kind of the how behind how this works. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them, or you can reach out to John or I afterwards. But you can see in a simple diagram, a person is detected by sample cam. That video clip is sent to a Noonlight dispatcher who's able to review it, make a determination as to whether or not what's shown in that video represents a threat to the person or property. If there's clearly not a threat and it's a false alarm, someone's been detected that is not actually a person or is a person that does not pose a threat, we'll send a webhook event back to our partner to let them know that, okay, everything's fine, no need to take additional action. However, if our agent reviews that video, determines there is a threat, there is a potential intruder inside of the user's home that's looking to take things, damage the property, we'll send that back via webhook event as well. That can be the kind of the trigger from the partner side at that point in time to take that next step, which is creating a Noonlight alarm. And again, we're able to share, just like that rich data is available in the other examples that we walked through those other offerings. That video can be used in a lot of different ways to help improve the user experience, whether it's adding it to the SMS that gets sent out to the users. That way they can immediately see what's happening without having to go and search and open up the app separately. In addition to getting that video into the hands of the 911 operator and first responders that are actually responding to the scene. So that way they have both an understanding of what was the activating event that resulted in this request for help in the first place, as well as a live stream of what's happening inside of that home during that active emergency. So that way they have an understanding of what they're arriving to and can prioritize that response kind of compared to all the other 911 calls that they're responding to in that moment.
So let's talk about our call centers and our rich data capabilities. So your users are going to need help in emergency and they're going to want it fast. So not only will we connect you quickly, but our trained and certified agents will stay on the line with you until help arrives. Even when it's not an emergency, our agents will help you figure out how to triage your situation to provide comfort to your users until they feel safe. Help is available through our 3 central station monitoring centers, which are UL listed and TMA 5 Diamond certified. We also connect your users to over 5,000 emergency facilities across the United States. We have 100% US coverage, and our unique feature called Direct to 911 allows critical information to be displayed directly on the 911 call taker's screen. That's the screen you see on the right. We'll provide additional data like video or audio, household profiles, entry instructions, any censored data made available. And we do all this via a unique web interface that you see again on the screen, where they can even share this information with first responders, with physicians, all again via the same web interface. So while we've been working together for quite some time now, back in March, we made our partnership public. We're proud to say that Tuya is our sole integration partner, and we couldn't be more thrilled to be working with such a prestigious industry partner to add emergency response and professional monitoring capabilities to their service offering. If you're looking for a complete solution, hardware, app, emergency response, professional monitoring, Tuya is your partner of choice, and you'll be working together with both of us. So in summary, what do you get with Noonlight? You get these 6 capabilities: subscription revenue for your products, continual subscription revenue, fewer false alarms, which means higher engagement and retention. We work with any hardware and software device that can detect a potential emergency, and the integration time is quick, under 30 days, sometimes even shorter, using our simple API. Again, another unique capability is our human touch via Noonlight's UL listed call centers, providing 24/7 support and covering 100% of the United States, from Alaska down through the Florida Keys. And we have flexible pricing to match your model and your growth plan. We want to say thank you for this opportunity. And if you're interested in having a more in-depth conversation, please send us an email at sales@noonlight.com. You can also learn more at noonlight.com/sales. Brooks and I, thank you so much. We'll be the ones monitoring the messaging as it comes in. So we're happy to talk with you. And now I think we're going to switch to Q&A for both Noonlight and Tuya.
Thank you, John and Brooks, and thank you, Nikita, as well. We do have some questions here. I want to invite all of you on the Zoom call, or if you're watching on Facebook Live, to comment your questions or type them in the Q&A icon at the bottom of your control panel to pose any of those questions that you might have to our panel of experts here. Our first question, I believe, is for Nikita. What central stations are you integrated with?
So Noonlight is one of our top partners, but we are also integrated with Avant-Garde. Yeah. And we have other partners who we're also in contact with. So if you are a monitoring center, feel free to reach out, like how we can partner.
And just a follow-up question, if some of the dealers on today's call are interested in the Tuya SaaS platform, how can they work with you?
So as I mentioned in the presentation, what Tuya offer is a complete solution, a software suite, and then we offer OEM as well. So which means that we can tailor to your need and then customize with your own logos and your own flavor, your billing systems. So I think this definitely needs in-depth discussion, the requirements discussion with your team, but we have a full sales team here and the pre-sales team here that we can bridge you and discuss your projects.
Thank you, Nikita. We've got one for John and Brooks. Does Noonlight work with third-party central stations, or do they have their own central stations?
Yeah, we have a strategic partnership there where it's all Noonlight trained agents that are handling Noonlight alarms, whether it's from our consumer safety app or from our partners that we've partnered with via our API. So that's how that works.
Here's one I know you probably love to answer. How much does Noonlight cost?
It's a fair question. So it sort of depends. It's going to depend on the product. We showed you 3 different products. There's actually 4 different products. 3 were relevant to today's conversation. And that pricing can range anywhere from 25 cents per user per month, and can vary and go up to $2 to $3 per location per month. Just depends. And it also obviously will depend on the size, your install base. The higher or the larger the number of users, the greater price adjustment we would provide.
Thanks, John. Nikita, this one's for you. Does Tuya only provide the software solution? How can dealers purchase the hardware devices you went through today?
That's a very good question because I think I spent 3 or 4 slides introducing Tuya's security and also the home automation devices. So this is a very good question. So there are 2 ways. The first one is that we work with over 90,000 factories. So if you are interested in building your own hardware portfolio, then we can help you do that and find the nice factory and do all your sourcing and engineering evaluation. The second route is that we do have a lot of the branded partners, and they already have a hardware in the market, in the retail stores. And those hardware devices, as I said, already cover the security devices, some of the home automation device, and for example, like a smart lighting, cameras, and the smart plugs.
Thank you, Nikita. What type of data can Noonlight share with first responders? This one's for Brooks and John.
Yeah, we've built our API and platform in such a way that any sort of data can be shared. So it's really dependent on the use case in terms of what's going to be most helpful to that end user. And by that, I mean what's going to be most helpful for first responders to understand the situation that they're going to and ensuring that's a prioritized response. So we provided some examples here in the home use case where that can be sensor data. So for example, we can know when the front door is open, that we can know that motion's then detected in the living room and then in the upstairs bedroom, and then a window is open 3 minutes later. That's all data that can get passed through our API and shared with first responders that are arriving on scene. Addition to that, video streams. So we can show what that activating event was. So as that potential intruder is entering the home for the first time, we can display that on our dashboard for first responders to see, in addition to what's actually happening at that home in that moment. So that way they have a full picture of why are we going out and what are we going to expect when we get there. And so from a user's perspective, if you think about, you've got a couple different opportunities or a couple different potential options. Is one, just kind of a generic call into 911 that's indicating a potential home invasion. And then you've got a second call that's kind of powered by Noonlight, in which case the 911 operator and the first responders have actual video context for what's happening in that scene. You can imagine the level of confidence that what they're responding to is not a false alarm, but a real emergency is much higher. And so that's how we're able to deliver a kind of faster, more informed response in those situations.
I'd only add that we can also add audio from facilities like Alexa And we can incorporate personal information for members, household members, medical information that might be critical for handling an individual's important situation.
Thank you. Follow-up question. How can users be sure their data is stored in the device commissioned region?
I think that one's for you, Nikita.
Let me look at the question again. I think that's a very good question. I think that would be more like a setup question, and I need more details on like what is these devices and what is the commission region mean. I think this user is very versatile with our system. So can we, after the webinar, can we get the information of these audience and then just get back to him? I will have our sales engineer to look this up and then give them the answer.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Does Noonlight work with all PSAPs?
Yeah, we do. I think there was a similar question maybe asked earlier as well, in terms of which PSAPs we've integrated with. So we've taken a over-the-top approach. If you think back to that slide that John shared that showed the kind of alarm dashboard that had a video of what was happening in the bottom corner. You had a real-time map that's updated in real time. That's all shared via web. And so that way that's accessible across the 6,000 plus PSAPs, in addition to being accessible to first responders from their mobile devices as they're actually arriving on the scene. And so John mentioned anywhere from Alaska to the Florida Keys, works with all 100% of them because there's not a direct integration. So we've kind of bypassed that step.
I want to invite everyone to ask any additional questions they may have. We're running, got a couple more here, but you do have a few more moments to type in those questions on Facebook Live or here in the control panel. Nikita, this one's for you. What type of third-party voice control does Tuya support?
Tuya currently supports all the major ones. So for example, Alexa has the most users out there. So we support Alexa, and the Google Assistant, Google Home is the second. We also support that. And the third one is the Samsung SmartThings. We support that as well. And if you have global business, like outside of North America, we also support other languages, voice assistant, the ecosystem as well. Like, for example, some dominant ones in Asia.
Thank you. And how long will it take to establish the OEM SaaS?
So during my presentation, the SaaS includes three components. One is the web portal, and then we offer two apps. One is the smart security app for end users to control the device. And the second one is the security station for service providers and the installers to commission the devices and just handle the alarms as a monitoring center. So there are some mix and match options. So in some cases, if you just want to rebrand the app, that will be faster. But if you also have a need to OEM the service provider app and the web portal, of course, that's going to take a little bit longer. But overall, because Tuya has a really big engineering team, over 70% of our staff is engineer. So I would say the time to market is just a matter of weeks. Yep.
Great. Thank you. John and Brooks, this one's for you. Does Noonlight work with products or services outside of traditional security?
Yeah, we do. This presentation obviously very focused on the kind of home security offerings, but we've partnered with a number of products and services outside of the home, whether it's, for example, Exxon, and they make a taser that if the user is ever in a situation where they're being attacked and need to fire their taser device against the attacker, that'll automatically create a Noonlight alarm. And so we can dispatch help to that user's location. They can focus on fighting for their life, running for their life. Number of partnerships when it comes to more personal safety type use cases like that, medical outside of the home as well. So yeah, really no limitations from our side in terms of any type of product or service that can detect a potential emergency situation where if user might be fearing for their safety. Noonlight can work with that and probably has worked with that in the past.
And finally, we've got a question here. You will receive a copy of the webinar. So tomorrow we will send you an email thanking you for attending today's ESA webinar with a link to the recording of this webinar. It will also be sent in tomorrow's ESA Integrator newsletter. So if that's all we have, I want to thank Nikita and Tuya. I want to thank John and Brooks and Noonlight for the content that you've provided the audience today. Thank you also for being ESA members and supporting the Pro Installed channel. And we'll see you all on the next ESA webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.